What's going on, family, and welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing the one and only Black Adam, played by Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and an ensemble cast. This film, it seems very long overdue that Dwayne The Rock Johnson plays a superhero and a supervillain at the same time, as he's kind of an anti-hero in this film. In a comic book movie that we finally actually get to see him in. You know, it took him a long time to get this movie made. And given his muscular physique, a character like Black Adam not only suits The Rock Johnson perfectly, but it's one that he wanted to star in himself for a very long time. It's great fun to see Johnson put his strength as a former wrestler to use as he throws his enemies left and right in this film across these ridiculous distances, not once caring where they might land, which is really funny because in this movie he really doesn't give a rat's ass. At the beginning, I have expected him to constantly spit these one-liners, right? These basically weird reaction faces and these strange scenarios that he normally does, right? But for the most part, he plays the role very, very serious. I was really surprised in a really good way, though. He certainly gained a lot of understanding on why he doesn't consider himself neither good nor bad, which made his character, I feel, a more compelling anti-hero. That's not to say he's always downbeat or anything like that, because he definitely has his share of comical moments from time to time. As the film, if you're not familiar with Black Adam, he's a spinoff from Shazam, and one of the more amusing entries in the DC universe. There's also some lighthearted comic relief to ease the tension of certain serious scenes, while the jokes to me in this film were rather hit and miss. They didn't always land, but they were very subtle. The ones that did provide much needed humor hit, showing yet again that DC films are capable of being funny, that they're not very dark, like what most say. In particular, I like the scenes that Adam tries to comprehend this modern day lexicon when compared to how things were 5,000 years ago, where he was actually from. I suppose it's very similar to how Thor tried to blend in with the humans in the MCU, but I feel like in this take, especially with Black Adam, they did it in a much better use. Only this time, with a more sinister undercurrent of Adam turning rogue pretty much at any time. And what's cool is, I gotta admit, it's very refreshing to see a superhero film where the main character is, nor good or bad, but rather a neutral party and all of this mess that goes on in the film. So often that these types of stories we watch as, our protagonist simply acquires their powers and immediately goes off to this heroic or villainous deed without a second thought. We get to see Black Adam come to terms with his abilities, his power, as he's unwillingly been given. He's originally a slave, who loses his son, and I thought that was very, very unique. We don't have a superhero, or let alone an anti-hero like that. So I thought that was very, very unique. This movie delivers explosive action scenes with great special effects that should satisfy you throughout the film. 5,000 years ago, after being bestowed with this power of the ancient gods, if you're not familiar with Black Adam, it's sealed. Before he goes by Black Adam, he goes by Teth Adam, and he's released from his prison in modern-day city of Kandak. And the cinematography there, even though the majority of it is CGI, it's beautifully made. I love the way they utilized the cinematography in this movie. The picture alone was beautiful. I was shocked at how much the world has changed when they, forward it to modern day. And then eventually, you have him who goes on a rampage, obviously, and brutally killing many soldiers and many other adversaries in the process. And in an attempt to, kind of subdue Adam's rage, you have the JSA, the Justice Society of America, consisting of Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan, who's very, very similar to a Doctor Strange character, if not a Doctor Strange character, even though he predates Doctor Strange by like 23 years in the comics. You have Cyclone, played by Quintessa Swindell, who I think did a really good job in the small role she was given. You have Adam Smasher, played by Noah Centineo, who's the comic relief in the film. He's kind of like an Ant-Man kind of guy. He can shrink, he can grow. He's really funny in the film. And then they set off to, Kondak, to halt this senseless destruction before it's too late. And, you have Hawkman, who is this brute also, but, he has a heart. He actually thinks about what he does before. And I love the way that the film went. I just like what they did with it. The rest of the supporting cast, like I just mentioned, I think did what they had to do. But when we are talking about the cast besides The Rock, we have to talk about Pierce Brosnan, as, Dr. Fate, who leaves a lasting impression on you in the film. His character appears to be, like I said before, like a Doctor Strange, but, Dr. Fate, he definitely predates Strange. And what I liked about him is, throughout the film, just to try to subdue The Rock, right? He summons these spells and these incantations that allow him to stand head to head, with Black Adam during his violent rampages throughout the film. But unlike Strange, however, right, Fate doesn't have an inflated ego, and he's relatively level-headed and calm, much like a certain famous spy Brosnan had played in the past, right? 007. And to be fair, Dwayne Johnson is a hard act to outshine, right? Due to his charisma, the natural charisma that shines off that silver screen. And there's no actor in this film, honestly, that comes close. It would be the one who used to play James Bond, which is Pierce Brosnan, who comes really close. Aldis Hodges, I think, as Hawkman, I think was awesome. I love his look in the film, and I love his interaction with The Rock in this film. It was very, very entertaining, and taking all that into consideration, the current state of the DCEU, I think is on its way. An entry like Black Adam doesn't really offer, I feel, anything better or worse than what we already experienced many times before, but it works simply as an entertaining, very action-packed, effects-driven superhero film that will hopefully keep most fans happy. It definitely kept me happy for approximately about 2 hours. You're never going to get bored. I think the movie was paced and edited very well. It goes. There's a lot of action scenes. There's action scene after action scene after action scene. And I'm curious to see how Black Adam will be integrated among the other DC heroes, right? Especially with the ones from Shazam, which this is a Shazam character. But for now, he works just fine as a standalone character. However, judging by the mid-credit scene, things do look promising. And this is going to be a spoiler alert, so if you want to be spoiled, if you haven't seen the movie, you can leave now and come back later on. But, the mid-credit scene I thought was awesome when they introduced Superman, when they introduced Amanda Amanda Waller, and I was like, wow. And the Superman that we actually get is Henry Cavill, and The Rock states that he had to fight just to get Henry Cavill Superman in the film, which I thought was unique because in the Shazam film, we only get to see Superman from there. We never get to see who he actually is. So for Henry Cavill to actually be a part of not only Black Adam, but a part of this little franchise that's going on with Shazam, I thought works well. Henry Cavill, I think, was an excellent Superman and should get a second film. And for most people that knew nothing about Black Adam, they're gonna go into this with a pretty cool mindset to discover that he is a beast. You know, this is a fast-paced, fun movie with some great action scenes. The musical score, not to mention, it was also great. And of course, it's composed by, you know, Beast, Lorne Balfe, who has become a star kind of overnight. This movie, I think, seems to be, believe it or not, a lot stolen from Marvel. I'm not gonna say stolen, but they borrowed a lot of things, a lot of different concepts from Marvel. And I don't know which of these characters are gonna wow you in this film, but you know, you do have certain similarities to certain Marvel characters like Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, even Falcon, and a Storm, sort of. But I'll give them props for at least being cooler, in my point of view, than those Marvel counterparts that I just mentioned. But it wasn't just the characters. You know, there were at least 4 to 5 different moments that reminded me something of a Marvel film. But I don't let that, you know, disrupt me or disrupt my feelings for the movie. It's kind of slightly a positive compliment, you know? And yeah, definitely go check out this movie. I give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I thought that was being high. Movie could have been a little higher, maybe with a second viewing. But from what I saw, I really, really enjoyed. The movie, I felt, did what I had to do. It's going to get people to come and see it. Introduces a new character and new characters into the DC universe. And it makes for a treat. So definitely go check it out. 7.5 out of 10. And if you liked this review, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.